Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to the next... Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to the next video in my Mould 2017 series. Now that the temporary door is installed, it's time for demolition. Hey, demo's free. Or I should say to start off, I'm no expert in this. This is the second time that we've had to do this, and I know that there were improvements on what we did last time. Either way, mold is bad. You definitely don't want to be breathing this in. You want to be wearing a respirator or at the very least a dust mask, but by the end of it, the majority of the moldy stuff was gone, so I got lazy. I should have been wearing it the whole way through. On to the work. The mold ended up being in the corner of this room and the closet of the adjacent room, so we needed to completely evacuate this room. However, before we start ripping apart the walls, I don't want dust and mold spores floating freely throughout the entire house. The new door will help with this, however I also need to block off the cold air return. To do this, I take off the grate, and with a sheet of vapor barrier, I block off the opening and reinstall the grate. It might be a little bit cold and the air might be a little bit stuffy now, since the room is completely closed off from the rest of the house, but I would prefer that over everyone in the house getting sick from mold or dust. Next up is to take off the outlet covers in the area that is affected. I don't want to snap off any of these when I pull off the drywall. Yes, they're only $1 to replace, but I want to salvage and reuse everything that I can. Funny story about this crowbar. I didn't have a crowbar prior to this. Needed one, so I went to the store. Hey, crowbar's on sale for 25% off. Well, I thought it was funny. Using my new bargain crowbar, I started pulling off the affected baseboard. There ended up being a visible mark on the wall from the water infiltration, so it was an easy determination of how much damage was done and what I needed to remove. My mentality my whole way through this project was to go 2 feet past any damaged portion I saw to make sure any and all damage was taken care of. So now that I know how much I need to remove, I call in the troops and bring in my $20 air cleaner inside from the shop to take care of dust, and we begin to take down the affected walls. Once the drywall was out of the way, I was pleased to see that the vapor barrier did its job and all of the insulation was unaffected and still salvageable. With the damaged portion of the wall removed, I start with the exploratory portion of the demolition to see what exactly caused the damage. At first we thought it might have been the hose bib in front of the house, but once we found where that was in the wall, it was too far away from the worst of the damage to be the cause. That and it was bone dry, so damn it! This means insurance isn't covering the forced renovation. We move into the other room to do the same thing, and in the exploratory phase here we find our culprit. A nice big crack in the foundation that had apparently been fixed at some point in the past, but had widened and repair failed. Later on we came to the conclusion that it was most likely due to all of the trees in the front yard. When we moved in, there were 2 cedars right up against the house that we took down to prevent damage to the house. And shortly after we found this crack, we hired a guy to take out the nearest of the 2 50-foot spruce trees in the front yard that was about 10 feet away from the house. So with that crack being right in the way of the bulkhead for the closet, this needs to come down, as I will need room to access the entire crack and repair it. I'm not fixing the crack today. I go back through the demolished areas to cut the drywall edges up to the roof and back to the next stud over to allow for the new drywall to have proper support from the framing. Now with all of the drywall edges cleaned up, I'm going to remove the affected carpet, underlay, and nailing strips. Again, by going 2 feet past the last of the damaged areas to ensure that all of the mold is removed. Using a straight edge to give myself, well, a straight cut, I'm just cutting out the affected carpet and will come up with the permanent solution at a later date, since recarpeting the entire basement... The f*** is that? I'm gonna have to start that sentence over. Since recarpeting the entire basement is not in the budget at this time. With all of the moldy, damaged, and otherwise unwanted material gone, I doused the entire exposed area with some mold killer stuff that we picked up. If there is any living spores left over, I want to make sure it's all dead. And this is where I'm gonna call this video. So as for the crack in the foundation, this will be the focus of the next video in the series, which should be out in the coming weeks. Thank you guys for watching. If you like what I'm doing here, subscribe for more. I hope to see you in the next video, and have a good one.